Hello everybody and welcome to CFO Conversations. I'm your host Paula Kensington and I have the great pleasure of welcoming back Sue Rosen.
Thanks Paula.
And today we're going to explore depth versus surface level thinking and listening. And the story that I think is important here for me to visualize what do I mean by playing the deep versus the surface is around, if you think about when you go to the beach and you might play at the edge of the water where it's nice and safe, or versus whether you'll actually go out into the water and take a bit more of a risk, shall we say, and go for a deeper swim. And perhaps the power of the ocean then might be a bit risky for us. So as a CFO, we know that we're perhaps risk adverse, but will we take that risk and play at a deeper level? Sue, what do you think?
I think it's important to understand that we have a lot of self-protecting mechanisms that stop us from plunging into the deep, whether that's at the beach or whether that's in the organisation, and where we are sometimes reluctant to get involved with something about which we have no knowledge. So as an example, perhaps we are invited or we know we need to get involved with the sales and marketing efforts in order to build our understanding of the business more broadly, but we feel out of our depth because we don't have the understanding. And back to what we've often said before, as CFOs, we are used to being judged and assessed on a technical competence, a technical expertise. So this comes back to putting our feet in, jumping in the water into the unknown and having those conversations, being willing to ask questions, being willing to listen to understand, going into those meetings with this vulnerability and the preparedness to listen and learn.
And I think it's not being reckless. I'm not suggesting that we should be reckless CFOs or finance leaders, but it's about getting out of your comfort zone on a more regular basis. And we know that that's where our growth is. We can turn up to work every day and do the same things, and we're not really going to deliver our best in that situation. So, getting out into unknown territory and having the confidence, giving yourself the permission to actually do something, try something, and become broader thinking and deeper thinking is something that you've just touched on there.
Yes, and as a CFO, to be a true business partner with the CEO, we absolutely need to have a broader understanding of all areas of the business. And we can only do that if we are willing to put ourselves out there, as you said, out of our comfort zone, and to ask the questions and give ourselves permission. I think that's a great expression, because we are giving ourselves permission to ask what might appear to be stupid questions. Sometimes bringing that diversity of thought to a meeting can be really valuable. So it's about having, as a leadership team, the people who've been in marketing, in sales, in IT, in finance, and understanding that we're all bringing something different, but being prepared to listen to each other and learn, and understanding that what I bring can be valuable simply because it is from a different I'm seeing things through a different filter because of my finance experience.
Yeah, absolutely. I think also the depth of your thinking demonstrates to people that may be watching who are aspiring CFO, it demonstrates to the CFO, to your leadership team, that you are capable of thinking more strategically, that you've got a bigger mindset, that you are thinking not just finance related. And we've spoken about that a number of times, about adding value and being known for something more than just what you perceivedly do or what your resume might have said that's what your role is. So for those that aren't playing deep, I would certainly recommend you start thinking about the risk and the rewards in doing so. Thank you, Sue. That's been a really lively conversation.
Thanks, Paula.